Some people walk into a room and instantly change the energy. They don't need to talk much. They don't need a crowd. Their presence alone says everything. These people aren't loud leaders or flashy personalities. They're something else. Something deeper. These are the Sigma males. Unlike alpha males who dominate with noise and attention, Sigma males lead with silence, mystery, and independence. They're not followers, but they're not trying to be in charge either. They do things their own way, and they don't ask for permission or praise. And that's exactly what makes them intimidating. A Sigma male is a man who moves through life on his own terms. He doesn't need a group to define who he is. He doesn't play social games or climb social ladders. He simply walks his path, and that's more than enough to shake people up. This isn't about being better than others. It's about being different in a way that challenges the norm. Why do Sigma males often make people nervous? It's not because they're trying to. It's because their behavior doesn't fit what most people are used to. They're calm when others are loud. They're thinking while others are reacting. They don't need validation, and they don't care about fitting in. In a world full of noise and attention-seeking, their quiet strength stands out. In this video, we're going to break down the 6 traits that make Sigma males so intimidating in any social circle. These aren't just ideas or labels. These are real behaviors that shake the room without a single word being spoken. Let's take a closer look at what sets Sigma males apart and why some people just can't handle it. Trait number 1. Quiet confidence and self-discipline. Sigma males don't brag. They don't show off. But the moment you see them, you know they're not like the others. That's quiet confidence. It doesn't shout. It doesn't need approval. It just is. And for many people, that's uncomfortable. In most social settings, people try to prove their worth. They tell stories, drop names, or try to one-up each other. But a Sigma male doesn't play that game. He stands still while others scramble. He's comfortable in silence. His body language is calm. His eyes are focused. He doesn't need to dominate the room. He already owns his space. This quiet confidence comes from self-discipline. Sigma males build themselves from the inside out. They have routines that others don't see. Early mornings, hard workouts, reading, planning, learning. It's not for show, it's for growth. They push themselves daily, not because someone is watching, but because they hold themselves to a higher standard. People sense this without needing to be told. It's in the way he walks, the way he listens, and the way he never overreacts. While others are loud to cover insecurity, a Sigma male's silence speaks of control and awareness. He doesn't need to prove anything because he already knows who he is. This creates a gap. Most people are used to social competition. They expect ego battles, small talk, and shared struggles. But a Sigma male doesn't participate. He won't compete for attention or approval. He has nothing to prove, and that throws people off. They don't know how to respond to someone who's not playing the same game. In fact, many mistake this quiet strength for arrogance or aloofness. But it's not. It's focus. It's clarity. A Sigma male knows where he's going, and he doesn't waste energy explaining it. This can make others feel insecure. They begin to question themselves around him. Why isn't he seeking approval? Why is he so calm? Why doesn't he need validation like the rest of us? That internal discomfort is the root of the intimidation. He's not trying to make anyone feel small, but his presence forces them to look at themselves. And that's what makes quiet confidence so powerful. It changes the tone of a room. It sets a different standard. Not by shouting, but by existing with purpose. Trait number 2, Independence and lone wolf mentality. Most people depend on social circles. They need groups for identity, support, or status. But Sigma males don't follow that pattern. They're independent. Deeply so. And that makes people uncomfortable. A Sigma male doesn't look to others to tell him who he is. He doesn't need to be part of a group to feel valuable. He moves through life as a lone wolf, not because he's lonely, but because he prefers it that way. This kind of independence is rare. Society is built on networks, teams, and groups. And while those things have value, Sigma males simply don't rely on them. They choose solitude over noise. They enjoy their own company. And they don't mind walking alone. This mindset breaks social expectations. In group settings, people often expect unity and shared opinions. But the Sigma male isn't afraid to stand apart. He'll skip the party. He'll challenge the groupthink. He doesn't go along just to get along. That quiet refusal to conform often causes tension. It's not rebellion. It's self-reliance. He listens to his own voice above all others. His decisions come from within. And that can threaten those who feel stronger in numbers. People wonder why he doesn't need them. Why he's fine being on his own. That confusion often turns into fear or resentment. This lone wolf behavior doesn't mean he's cold or rude. In fact, Sigma males can be kind, thoughtful, and insightful. But they don't need to be surrounded to feel fulfilled. They connect deeply but selectively. They value quality over quantity in every relationship. This creates another kind of distance. While others chase social validation, the Sigma male stays focused on his goals. He builds his own world and only lets the right people in. That's rare. That's powerful. And for many, that's intimidating. Being around someone who doesn't need the group makes the group question its own value. His detachment reveals how much others rely on connection for identity. And that quiet contrast is enough to unsettle an entire room. Trait number 3, strategic, deep thinking, silent leaders. Some people lead with charisma. Others lead with volume. But Sigma males lead with thought. They don't need a spotlight. Their minds are always working, watching, analyzing. They lead without saying much, and that makes them dangerous in the best way. This kind of thinking is what sets them apart. In any room, they're observing more than they're speaking. They're calculating. Not in a manipulative way, but in a careful, strategic way. Every word they choose has weight. Every decision has purpose. People often miss it because they confuse quietness with passiveness. That's a mistake. Sigma males aren't passive. They're intentional. They may not speak first, but when they do, people listen. Their words come from observation, not impulse. This gives them the ability to lead without commanding. Others naturally follow them, not because they're told to, but because they sense the depth behind the silence. In a group, this kind of person can be unsettling. Most people rely on constant talk to fill space. They use conversation as control. But Sigma males flip that. They don't fill the silence, they use it. They watch how others react, and they learn everything without saying a word. Their strategic thinking makes them unpredictable. You never know what they're planning or how much they've already figured out. And that can scare people who rely on surface-level interactions. When someone is always thinking, always planning, but never broadcasting it, they become hard to read, and that mystery makes people uneasy. This deep thinking also means Sigma males often see through fake behavior. They're not fooled by charm or social tricks. They can sense when someone's being real and when someone's performing. That ability to cut through masks intimidates those who are used to hiding behind them. They also don't rush. Sigma males are patient. While others chase quick wins or social approval, they think long-term. They ask bigger questions. They don't care about trends, they care about principles. They move based on logic and values, not peer pressure. In many ways, they lead like shadows. Always present, never loud. Always effective, never flashy. This silent leadership can shift the power in a room. Others feel it, even if they don't understand it. And that feeling alone can change how people behave. People often think leaders must be loud, but Sigma males prove the opposite. Leadership doesn't come from volume. It comes from presence, insight, and direction. They don't need to raise their voice, they just need to speak with meaning. And when they do, it hits different. Trait number 4, mysterious aura and social selectivity. Some people walk into a room and reveal everything about themselves in minutes. Others keep you guessing for years. Sigma males are the second kind. They carry a mystery that never really goes away, and that mystery makes people nervous. The reason is simple. People fear what they don't understand. Most social behavior is built on transparency. People share who they are, what they do, and how they feel. It creates comfort. But Sigma males don't do that. They share little. They reveal slowly, if at all. And they do it on their terms. This creates a kind of tension. People want to understand them, but they can't. They want to predict them, but they're not predictable. This keeps everyone off balance. And the more someone tries to figure them out, the more mysterious they become. It's not a trick. It's not an act. It's just who they are. Sigma males don't feel the need to expose everything. They don't live on social media. They don't broadcast every emotion. They move through life quietly, leaving others wondering what's really going on in their minds. That mystery becomes power. In a world where oversharing is common, someone who holds back becomes rare. People lean in. They want to know more. They try harder. But the Sigma male stays still, selective with his words and careful with his time. That brings us to social selectivity. Sigma males don't let everyone in. They don't chase popularity. They value deep connections, not wide circles. And that selectiveness can offend people who are used to instant access. When someone doesn't want your company, your approval, or your attention, it forces you to look inward. This rejection, or even the possibility of it, can trigger insecurity. People start asking themselves why they're not accepted. They wonder what they're missing. And that's where the intimidation grows. It's not that the Sigma male is rejecting people out of arrogance. He's just choosing his peace over popularity, his focus over drama. And he makes no apology for it. This balance of mystery and selectivity creates a force field. You can feel it around him. He's here, but you don't really have him. He's present, but never fully reachable. That subtle distance is felt, even if no one can explain it. And it stays with people long after he leaves the room. Trait number 5, deep listening and emotional control. When most people talk, they're waiting for their turn to speak. But Sigma males actually listen. Not just to the words, but to everything else. The tone, the pauses, the emotions behind the message. And that kind of listening is rare. It's powerful too. People aren't used to being heard deeply. So when a Sigma male listens, really listens, it changes the dynamic. Suddenly the talker feels exposed, like someone finally sees through the noise. That can be calming for some, but for others, it's deeply uncomfortable. The Sigma male doesn't interrupt. He doesn't rush to respond. He watches. He listens. And when he does speak, it's with clarity. It's based on full understanding, not assumption. That kind of presence in a conversation is intense, and not everyone can handle it. This listening is tied to another trait, emotional control. Sigma males don't react emotionally in most situations. They don't get loud when they're angry. They don't melt down when they're stressed. They stay even, calm, measured. In a heated discussion, they're the ones who breathe slow, speak low, and hold steady. That calm can de-escalate a situation or make others feel more emotional by contrast. If someone's yelling and the Sigma male stays silent, it highlights the other person's lack of control. That's where the intimidation comes in. Emotional control is rare, especially in emotional moments. And when someone holds their ground while everyone else is spiraling, they become the emotional anchor. People either respect it or fear it. This control also means Sigma males don't give up their power easily. They don't get dragged into gossip, drama, or peer pressure. They stay true to themselves, no matter who's watching. And that kind of inner stability is hard to shake. It also makes people think twice before challenging them. Not because they're aggressive, but because they're steady. You never know how much they know. You never know what they'll do. That emotional silence creates uncertainty, and uncertainty creates power. And that's why deep listening and emotional control are traits that shake people. They reveal everything without saying much. And they remind everyone else just how loud the world has become. Trait number 6. Critical thinking and resistance to validation. Most people want to be liked. They shape their opinions to match the group. They say what others want to hear. But not the Sigma male. He thinks for himself. He questions everything. And he doesn't care if others agree or not. This level of independence in thought is powerful. It means he isn't swayed by trends or pressured by peers. He looks at the world and asks, does this make sense to me? That's his guide. Not popularity, not approval, just truth. That critical thinking can disrupt any group. While others follow the crowd, the Sigma male might disagree and calmly say so. He's not trying to be difficult. He's just being honest. And that honesty, especially when it cuts through group thinking, can feel like a threat. This often exposes how much others rely on outside approval. They want to be accepted, praised, validated. But the Sigma male doesn't need that. He's content with his own view. That confidence in his mind and decisions makes people uncomfortable. It makes them ask why they need validation in the first place. And that's where the intimidation hits hard. When someone doesn't need praise, you can't control them with it. When they don't care about fitting in, social pressure loses power. You can't guilt-trip, flatter or shame a Sigma male into submission. He simply doesn't respond to that language. This doesn't mean he's stubborn or closed-minded. In fact, most Sigma males are curious. They're always learning, always exploring ideas. But they think deeply before they speak. They test ideas before they accept them. They form their own beliefs, and those beliefs are rooted in personal experience and logic, not group loyalty. This makes conversations with them different. You can't win them over with emotion alone. You need substance. You need reason. And many people aren't used to that. They live in a world of surface talk and emotional swings. So when someone shows up with calm logic, it disrupts the flow. It also raises the stakes. People feel they need to prove themselves. They feel judged, not because the Sigma male is judging them, but because they sense a different standard. They feel like they need better arguments, more honest thinking, stronger beliefs. And that pressure makes them uneasy. At the same time, the Sigma male's resistance to validation can come off as detachment. He may not respond to compliments or react to insults. He's steady either way. That lack of emotional reaction creates mystery. And mystery breeds fear in people who rely on predictable social cues. The result? People don't know how to win with him. They can't earn his approval with the usual tricks. And that shakes them. Because if someone doesn't need you to like them, how do you influence them? The answer: you don't. And that's why this trait intimidates. Sigma males don't seek power. They don't chase status. But they have something most people don't: inner strength. And that strength shows up in quiet ways that shake the loudest rooms. They don't shout. They don't show off. But they make people feel things. Sometimes it's respect. Sometimes it's fear. Often it's both. Because they live by their own rules. And that makes everyone else question their own. From their quiet confidence to their critical thinking, Sigma males stand apart without trying. They're not antisocial, they're just selective. They're not aggressive, they're just sure. And they don't lead with force, they lead with presence. These 6 traits don't just define Sigma males. They define what it means to move through life with purpose and peace. No drama. No games. Just clarity. And that clarity is rare. It's powerful. And in a world full of noise, it's the one thing that people can't ignore, even when it scares them. So ask yourself, which of these traits do you see in yourself? And which ones do you want to grow? Thanks for watching. If this video made you think, share it with someone who needs it. And if you're ready to keep exploring this mindset, you know where to find us. Until next time, stay sharp, stay silent, stay real.